All right. Excuse me. We are rolling. What's happening, people? What is good? What's up? Happy Wednesday. We're alive. We're good. We're great. We're feeling all right. All right. So, everything relating to injuries. I personally have never been injured in the gym. I've been injured in other sports like freestyle wrestling, where it's literally a combat sport. Luckily, I wasn't injured in football when I played football. But today we're going to be talking about the gym, how not to get injured, and just being proactive instead of reactive. Okay. This one's going to be short and sweet, right to the point. Okay. Because there's not a lot to talk about here. It's very, very simple. It's not rocket science. Okay. So without wasting any time, what I'm going to do here today, guys and girls, is get the podcast all set up over here on my end. And then we're going to dive into this topic. And I want to let you know if you have any questions or if you have any comments regarding this topic or anything else, regarding the live stream or the podcast. We're going to dive into this podcast episode number 5 in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, yo. Welcome to the Natural Nomad podcast, where we keep it real about how we feel and what we deal with in life. Disclaimer: I'm going to tell you what you need to hear and not what you want to hear. Not because I want to be mean, but because I fucking respect you. All right. So if you tune in and you decide to give me the time out of your life that you know you'll never get back, the very least I can do for you is keep it a stack. All right. Now that that's out the way, let's chat with IFBB Pro Matt Butale. Yo, let's get raw. What's up? What's happening? What's good, chest broads, if y'all out here, whatever you want to call yourself, whatever you identify as, it's all good. Today we're going to be talking about something very important, something kind of scary. Okay, injuries. All right, we're going to be talking about injuries and how you can prevent them. How I prevented them, because personally I've never been injured in the gym. Lifting weights. Of course, I told you briefly before I started the podcast, if you were watching this live, that I was injured doing freestyle wrestling way back. It was like my ankle, and it was actually in my finals. Actually, it's a messed up story. It was on my birthday too. I lost my birthday. I cried. But anyway, that's a different story for a different day. We're going to be talking about 3 tips to help you guys get results like me when it comes to never getting injured, to train smart, to be proactive instead of reactive. Okay, so if you want, you can pull out a pad and a pen, or you could just honestly play this on replay, and just absorb as much information as you possibly can. All right, so without wasting any time, let's break this down. Okay, let's break this down. All right, so most people, I'll be honest with you, aren't really aware of what I'm about to bring up, in the sense that it's not practiced. They know it exists, but they don't see anybody practicing it, and they don't practice it themselves, which is why they always get that clicking shoulder pain, that sore elbow, sore wrist feeling, knees sore, right? And again, who likes that shit? Especially if you're really young and you have like these back pains and all that. Like, you got to be careful. All right, you got to be very careful. You have to be proactive. All right, so it's better to be proactive than reactive, and what that means is it's better to do what you need to do daily or consistently before the bad thing happens, instead of waiting for the bad thing happen to do something about it. Because let's face it, when the bad thing happens, in this case the injury, and you have to do something about it, now you're wasting time. You're taking a lot of time off of training and things like that, just to do the stretching and the physiotherapy and the rehab and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you can literally just do what you need to do, you can do your due diligence on a consistent basis and never get to a point where you're actually injured, which is what I do. And sometimes it gets tedious, but again, it's better to be tedious, a little bit annoying, than struggle after you get injured because you can't train. All right. So essentially, what we want to make sure you can do is push your strength limits and maximize that pump feeling without risking the injury, right? Like, I understand it. You want to go in there, you want to go balls to the wall, you want to get fucking, like, full send, as I always say, right? You want to like go in there and just give it your all right. So let's break this down short, simple, and straight to the point, guys and girls. Number 1, the first tip out of 3 tips to never getting injured, like IFBB Pro Matt Batale, is to check your ego at the fucking door. This one is going to hurt a lot of your guys' feelings, specifically guys, because girls are better with this usually, I find. Check your ego at the door. It's not about hitting a 2-plate bench or 3-plate bench. It's not about, squatting 5 plates or deadlifting 6 plates. Like, check your ego at the door. If your goals, your strength goals, are solely based around hitting numbers that you think are just absurd and abnormal in a way, freaking intense goal, that's valid. But to put yourself like to jump from one plate bench to three plate bench is just stupid. To jump from one plate bench to two plate bench is stupid, right? You have to slowly, incrementally increase your weight by, I would say, 2.5, 5 pounds or 10 pounds every other week, every other month, depending on how you respond to, adding more weight and the volume in correspondence to that in order to hit a proper PR. And when you hit that proper PR, you should never do it without a spot. If you're going underweight, like underweights, not underweight as in losing weight, if you're going under the barbell, under always best, and I always recommend that you get a spotter, guys and girls. Get a spotter that can actually lift that weight off of you and watch you, help you with your form, and make sure that you're safe. All right. So I'm just gonna excuse myself here. Got a little bit of a mucus on my throat, so if you hear that in the podcast, I apologize. But anyway, moving forward. So check your ego, guys and girls. All right, it's not about making that big, huge leap in weight to hit this fucking number that just makes no sense. You're gonna get injured. I never did that. Like it took me, like I first. I'll tell you this: the first time I put 225 on the bench press, I was in the ninth grade. Did I lift it? Fucking no. Matter of fact, I thought I could lift it. I didn't have a spotter, but luckily I had my gym teacher keeping an eye on me because I'm not gonna like pump my tires, but I was one of the strongest in the class for gym, and I took it off the rack. I was able to control it down, but that shit would not come up. Right, we're talking about 135, 140 pound mat here, right? And then he ran immediately over to pick it up, and there's ways to safely evade out of that situation, but most people aren't experienced. Your ego, or you just get left at the door. I would rather, check my ego than swallow pride, to be honest with you, because checking your ego allows for you to get to a point where you don't have to swallow your pride because you know already, okay, fuck, calm down, buddy. You're not doing this today, right? So have that in your mind. Number one, check your ego. That's the number one way to not get injured. Okay. Number two, lift with equipment. This one is I know it ties into the first one a little bit because all those guys with they're so fucking macho and like sick with it. They're like, oh man, like I don't need wrist wraps, I don't need knee wraps, I don't need elbow sleeves, I don't need any of this shit. I don't use clips. Clips are for pussies, right? But then it comes to a point where you're under a whole lot of weight and you got to evade, right? And you can't evade properly, right? Why? Because as soon as you lean over to one side, that wrist is just about to crack. I understand investing in extra gym equipment can be annoying, bringing it with you, forgetting it sometimes, like all that, but I'll tell you, it's worth it. Studies have shown forever that having warmer joints prevent injuries. Okay, just the same reason, like when we stretch, when we all stretch, right? Hopefully we stretch. That's actually the last topic here. But warmer joints allow for your body, your tendons actually, to move a lot more freely. When they're colder, it's a lot more tense. When it's more tense, it's more likely to snap, to rip, to tear, right? So wrist wraps, elbow sleeves, knee sleeves, guys and girls. I don't even wait until I'm feeling fucking funny in my knees or wherever to use these things. I use them to be preventative. I use them to be proactive. I use them when they don't even hurt so that they never get the chance to hurt. Okay, it doesn't make you a pussy to use clips. As a matter of fact, it's going to help your form because now that weight, and I always see this, I see 1 or 2 inches on the side is off to one side, and then the other side is okay. And as these guys lift, the weights stray away, and that fucks with this, right? Wrist straps. I've got small wrists, so I need to use them. Even I personally don't have pain there, but I use them. Okay, same with my elbows. I don't have pain in my elbows, but I use elbow sleeves. I don't have pain in my knees, but I use knee sleeves or sorry, knee wraps. Right? Be preventative. Okay. Be proactive instead of reactive. Don't wait until you're injured to do the right thing. Because when you're injured, now you have to do the right thing by force. Otherwise, you won't be able to lift in the future. And at that time, while you're doing the right thing, you won't even be lifting, which sucks. Okay. So do what you need to do what you have to do your due diligence beforehand. Okay. And tip number 3, last but not least, and I already mentioned it a little bit, is stretching, guys and girls. You want to stretch consistently. And this one, I'll be honest with you, I'll keep it a fucking stack. Um, I was guilty of this for a very, very, very long time. Like a very long time. And that's just because it's like, yo, let me get into the gym, let me get out of the gym, blah blah blah, and that's all. Like, I don't really care about stretching. Maybe I'll, you know what I said? I'm gonna do it at home. The biggest lie ever. I'm gonna go stretch at home, and people can do that honestly. Like, but I've found for myself personally, nah, it doesn't work. I have to do it at the gym. So what I did was this: I implemented a routine where I go into the sauna for 15 minutes. It doesn't have to be 15 for you. It could be 5 minutes. Okay, go into the sauna. While you're in the sauna, stretch, do static stretches. And this is a win win because not only will your body be able to stretch more efficiently while you're warmer in the sauna, but you'll also drop a tad bit of water weight while you're stretching because the sauna's heat, right? Holding isometric stretches, like static stretches, right? That's going to be a win. You're going to lose that water weight. You're going to get some flexibility. You're going to increase your mobility. And overall, you're going to be able to protect your joints, protect your muscles, and increase your range of motion, your biomechanical range of motion, simply because you're doing your stretches on a daily basis. Okay. But the thing is, for me, usually I do my stretching at the end of the workout, like when I'm done my workout. So, and those are the static stretches I'm referring to. I do my static stretches after the workout, warm in the sauna, warm from post workout, and I do my cardio in the morning and all that stuff. But one thing that I always do as well is doing the dynamic stretches, which are the stretches where you're just moving around. Static is where you're holding the stretch. Dynamic is when you're moving around and stretching. So I do the dynamic stretches, guys and girls, literally in between each and every single rest set. Like, I'll just count it one, two for my shoulders, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. Right. So in between every single rest set, you should be trying your best to do dynamic stretches to keep the joints like aligned. So you make sure you know everything feels good in between each and every single set. And if something's feeling off before you get into the next set, you'll know because you've been doing your dynamic stretches and you know either, well, hey, I'm going to come up in weight or I'm going to drop down in weight and increase the reps based off of how I'm feeling. So you have to be aware of that, guys and girls. You have to, that's something you need to implement if you don't want to get injured. And I'm telling you, these three things alone, like again, I used to struggle with the static stretches, I won't lie, but I will always do the dynamic stretches, like non-negotiable. Because I knew my brain, like, yo, if something snaps, tears, rips, I'm fucking done. And that's a nightmare situation for me. So I don't even play with that shit. And I check my ego out the door. I don't lift fucking ridiculous amounts of weight, even though I can. Like, I used to want to be able to squat 495 for reps consistently 2 times a week, but I realized there's no point. I could just squat 2 times a week doing 405 and get a crazy, crazy, crazy return on gains from that. And then get my reps in strength from 315 really, really high. I squat 315 for like 12 to 15 reps 2 times a week. Okay, so that's what I typically do, right? I leave my ego at the door. I lift the fucking equipment. I don't care. It doesn't make me a pussy. I fucking put clips on. I will waste time to put clips on in the middle of my rest set after I do my dynamic stretches. And then also I'd stretch at the end of the workout. And I'm referring to static stretches, guys and girls. Okay, so that's it. 3 super simple tips. Implement them now. Don't just sit here and listen, be a sitting duck. Because, dude, guys, girls, chest bras, chest broads, whatever you want to call yourself, whatever you identify as. But anyway, and your time spent here is going to be a waste. Okay. So that's pretty much what it is. Training isn't just lifting things up and putting things back down. It's everything in between, actually. Well, we can talk about nutrition, but it's everything in between. You know what I'm saying? Again, do your due diligence or your body will force you to, guys and girls. Okay. So you're better off safe than sorry. And with that said, it brings us to the end of today's Natural Nomad podcast. All right. Let's get pissed off for greatness, guys and girls. That's why I do this for you. Okay. We got a little bit vulnerable and maybe a little bit too raw. Or inspiration from this podcast. Share it out to one friend you know will enjoy it too. Shameless plug. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, MATT space BUTALE, Matt Butale, to see how I live outside of social media. And also, if you want to lose 25 pounds and become a part of the Natural Nomad Academy, feel free to DM me and I'll see if you'd be a good fit if you qualify, right? I don't work with everybody. You got to qualify. All right. It's been nice chatting. I hope you liked what today's topic was about. Natural IFBB Pro Matt signing out. Podcast is done there. All right. Yo, what's up, people? What's happening? What's happening? Now I'm going to be replying to the comments because we're at the end of the live stream. Okay, we're at the end of the live stream here today, and I'm going to be replying to some comments really quickly, and then heading off to a quick meeting. Okay, so I'm just gonna make this as fast as possible. And I do appreciate each and every single one of you for tuning in. I really do. Believe it. Believe it. It's fucking true. Um, okay, I appreciate you, Matt. He says internet at work keeps dropping. Trying to watch it, but it keeps pausing. I'll have to catch up later. Have a great day. You know what it is, bro. Cheers. I appreciate you guys. The homie says that's me every day. Mobility is key. Yes, Jassy. You know what it is. Homie says I feel that I don't looking like a loser with sleeves. No, that's not how it works, bro. Use sleeves anyway. The warmer your joints are, the more safer you are, and the more you'll actually be able to lift. You'll notice. Same with wrist wraps. So get that notion out of your mind. You should start. That's just, I mean, take it from a pro. If you don't want to listen to me, then it's on you, bro. Bianca, it's true. Some people don't fully understand the importance of stretching. It's true. I'm doing all right, Bianca. How are you doing? It's been a while. Doing all right. She says, nice to see you again. Like, it's nice to see you too. It's been a long time. Homie says, how do you deal with lower back pain? Dude, stretch consistently. Like consistently. Okay. Like every day that you train, you should be stretching. All right. And if it still hurts beyond that, I recommend going to a chiropractor. All right. I appreciate each and every single one of you guys and girls joining today. You know what's up. Gonna read some of the comments here on TikTok. Jesse the King says YouTube quality looking good. I appreciate you, dog. I appreciate you, bruh. You know it's good. Let's see. Not answering that one. That's a silly question. Bro, did you go to West Humber? No, I didn't go to West Humber. I've seen you around somewhere, just don't know where. Nope. Haven't gone there. Never been there. I appreciate the 304 likes on TikTok. Let's go. What's up, Deacon Cook? What's up? What's good? Homie says, I'm 13. Should I use supplements? You can use supplements, but supplements aren't going to do anything for you if your nutrition isn't aligned. So make sure that you know how many calories you're eating, the macronutrients that you're consuming, and macronutrients just mean protein, carbs, and fats. And you have to be training consistently. Okay. And I'm not against 13-year-olds training. I literally started training at 11 years old. Okay. So get that shit in your head, buddy. All right. That's it. That's all. I'm going to run out. I'm a bit late for a meeting. And I'm going to hit you guys up later. You know what's up. Tomorrow and Friday, the last two live streams you do for the week. Other than that, I hope you guys and girls have the sickest fucking Wednesday of your life. We are out.